Hello, Dave Kenwether here again. We've just looked at the Sanctuary to Woodhenge line, and this is Woodhenge, looking at Bill Wilkinson's work. And now we're going to look at the reconciliation that we can produce using the imperial system and the system that Thom's discovered. So we go into this spreadsheet, and Bill Wilkinson's Sanctuary to Stonehenge. This is what's come out of it. I couldn't find the relationship between the imperial system and Thom's system until I'd written my first book. I tried and I just couldn't figure it. And of course, as soon as I published the book, I discovered it. And it's very simple. The English mile multiplied by 34 divided by 33 is Thom's system. And the megalithic yard is 17 times 16, which equals 272. It's a base 17 unit. And these people were manipulating prime numbers. The English mile, the system in the mile, is base 11. You might find that strange, but the English rod is 16.5 feet. Multiply it by 6, you get 99. Divide by 9, you get 11. And that's the root of the English system. But also, pi as 22 over 7 works with this system. So we're looking at prime 7 and prime 11. And what we find with Thom's system is it works with prime 13, because we're looking at eclipse danger periods, and they're 17.33. And 17.33 times 3 gives us 52. And if we divide that by 4, we get prime 13. So for Thom's system, we're looking at prime 13 and 17. And for the English system, we're looking at prime 11 and 7. Now, predicting eclipses, this is a big deal. And this 6,800, I got this from one of Robin Heath's books, and to be quite honest, I bought a lot of Robin Heath's books, and I totally recommend them. He's written about Thom. He's written a book called Cracking the Stone Age Code, and I really don't want to go into what's in that book because you need to buy it and read it, but it tells you everything about Thom, everything about what happened to him, and it's a gruesome read, to be quite honest. And that's all I'll say on that. But it's a brilliant book. And everything that Heath has produced is in all this work that I'm doing, because I've relied so heavily on his work in understanding how to predict eclipses, in understanding what Thom's done. And I've put my own slant on what he's written about, but he writes about this number 31.68. And everything that's in this little spreadsheet, it sums everything up about what Thom's discovered. And we know the nodal cycle is 6,800 days. Now that's accurate enough to be able to find eclipse danger periods using 173.33. 6,600 is not the Saros cycle. It's what I call the Saros plus. And I'll show you the eclipse unit now, because we're going Babylonian on you here, and we're going to divide 5280 by 360. So we go plus that divided by 360. Boom. 14.667. But that's what it actually is, 44 over 3. Now, in my first book, I suggested they were using a unit of 44 inches to tell the time. And I knew nothing about eclipses. I knew nothing about Saros periods and nodal cycles and eclipse danger periods. I've got it all out of Thom's work. But what I did know is that Thom's work, the statistical side of Thom's work, was absolutely rock solid. And I knew that because I'd worked as an auditor and we used to use statistical sampling. And as soon as I read Thom's first book, I knew that he couldn't be wrong. Now this unit, 14.67, you can divide it by 22/7. Oops, I made a mistake as usual. Click no, click OK. And then that's it. And straight away you can see the difference between the diameter and circumference is 10. And as soon as I saw that, I knew I'd discovered something spectacular. And if you go on the NASA website, you will find that the Saros period is 6585 It's 6585 days and 8 hours. And 8 hours is a third of a day, so it's 0.333. And I always put R. I mean, the mathematicians put ... And they knew more about this than I do, but I just found that was good for simplicity. But if you put R, you can't multiply that, so I'll just go like this. And then I can multiply that by whatever number I want in the spreadsheet. So what we find is minus that, and we find that the Saros is 449 eclipse units, and they were using 450 to do their counting. They were using 6,600, and the English chain is 66 feet. It's the length of an English cricket pitch, and they were actually using that unit to predict eclipses. It sounds absolutely unbelievable, but that's what I've found. And this unit, 14.666R recurring, or 44/3, it's still the same today as it was then. And the Babylonians discovered it. I mean, this 5280 divided by 360, that is the unit. And it also reconciles to root 2, would you believe? So let's just have a look at that. We divide it by 28 and multiply by 27. And there's 99/7. And that's what we talked about in the Harrison-Stockdale presentation. That is 10√2. And that works with Thom's megalithic yard. And that's all I've got to say on that for now. So thank you very much for listening.